It's Do It in Public. Welcome, Cyrus.
Thank you, Igor.
Do it in public. You have nothing to hide. Start using the internet. Join the ride.
How are you doing?
I'm
How's
pretty
the
good. Pretty good. And you?
Also good, like all in calls and Twitter, but everything is perfect.
Yeah.
How was the day? What was the most interesting thing in your day?
Right now, it actually was coding. That's
Coding?
that's what I do the whole week. Focus myself on coding, sleeping, eating, and then just repeat.
Okay, cool. So today coding was the best part.
Yeah, actually, it's always it's always is. It's my passion. So I feel like it's how can I say it's a superpower. That's always
Oh, yeah, yeah. We can speak about it. Every skill is superpower, but coding is a powerful superpower.
yeah. It actually is because the whole thing is that you can get like this idea and then just create it, and that's for me like getting something from idea to create it. That's a real superpower.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, we can discuss more on it later. So, just for the context, so how I and Cyrus met, so it's for sure in Twitter, and we just started engaging, I don't know, like a few months ago probably. So we just commenting from time to time to each other's tweets, and I saw that Cyrus has a huge loss of followers, so it's 22K. We'll discuss it, but I think for now you are the biggest Twitter account that joined
Okay.
this call. So we'll discuss this. So tell us, me and us, your story. Like, what are you doing? Like you're recording. Like, what is your story? What is your background, and what you're doing at the moment?
Yeah, my story is I can go a little fast forward on this. My story is I got a computer when I was 9 from my parents,
Mm-hmm.
and it was mostly like a game, played
Mm-hmm.
Syndicate and Street Fighter and things of it. It was Amiga 1200, and uh, and then all of a sudden my big brother started to paint and do start application on it, workbench and stuff. And I was like, okay, this got me interesting. Then we got like a little book where we could create our own games, and that was the first time I got into coding. So we
Okay.
started to write down the whole game. But as soon as we didn't find that character, we were like, it doesn't matter. We don't need that special character. Let's just continue. And then as soon as we wrote that whole code, it was like 4 A4 papers. It didn't work. We got like all this kind of error messages like, it doesn't work. And we just let it. And then fast forward a couple of years, I was 12. My dad saw that I had this thing for computers. So he bought a compact personal computer
Uh-huh.
and bought dial-up internet. And I think it was like 2, 3 at night. I how can I say? I for fake slept. So and then when our parents went up and sat by the computer, and I think it was like 2 or 3 in the morning. In a weekend, I saw this book from Telia, Create Your First Website,
Oh, interesting.
like HTML at that time. So I was like, I don't have anything better to do. So I pick it up. An hour later, I knew exactly I want to be a web designer. That's it. And so I just kept go to the library, borrowing books about
Mhm.
HTML and everything. And fast forward to I was like 15, I felt like all the websites didn't look good. I want to make them look good and be pretty. So I looked into what kind of design software all the big companies are using. At that point, it was Photoshop 7.0.
Uh-huh.
So I felt like, okay, uh, a friend had it, so I borrowed from him, and I started to like look into all this kind of different websites. So I looked into something called Pixel to Life. The site is still up, actually. It's like Photoshop tutorials. It's still up, and it still looks the same, and it's really good. It has like I don't know 14,000 Photoshop tutorials and stuff. So I know I went through a lot of them every day, and then I started to like freelance when I was 15, 16, like friends and family. At that point, a website wasn't like you needed. It was just I have a website. It's cool. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started getting into like CSS stuff and CSS. And then I went into school because the thing is, I knew exactly that I wanted to be a web designer. And then I was like, okay, when I was 15, I wanted to freelance. I was like, I'm really bad at marketing. And then I was like, okay, let's learn digital marketing because I believed in that. Since the internet, I felt like this is gonna be huge. So I went into school 3 years for digital marketing. And as soon as I graduated, I was like, okay, now I'm gonna finally work. So my first work was at the agency. It was a small agency, and at that point, it was ActionScript and Flash. That was the new thing. And
Amazing technology, by the way.
yeah, exactly. You could do anything. So the fun part was I created like this website where it was like two depths. You have the website, and then in front of it you have stuff like small movements, and it felt like it was interacting and everything. And it was really fun and all. And I think I worked at like a year, and then I got this whole thing that like maybe shouldn't do this as a full-time job. So I was like, because I really love it when I did it as a hobby. Okay, let's make my 9 to 5 like a complete different thing. So I went on to a gas station in Denmark. In Copenhagen. I thought, okay, that would be my 9 to 5 job, and then I will work all the things at hobby. And I think I was like 3 weeks. I thought, no, this is so not me. And I thought, nope, that's not me. So I felt, okay, what else am I good at? And then I had this whole thing with computers that I like could really understand them. So I was like, okay, technical support, that is me, because the only difference if I get a 9 to 5 job as a technical support is I get paid for it. Other than that, I was like, just okay, I'm just gonna help friends and family fix their computers. So I searched, and then I got into, funny enough, Telia, because they search for a technical support person. So I went in there, worked like 3 years. Then they had to like cut down people. But those 3 years, I went from, educate colleagues, second line support, and it was like, how do you call it? When you are a technician and you have problem solved it, then you call a person that will help you. So that was me. And then the last months before they did the cut down, I worked as I need to talk to the boss. When you have a client and they said, like, that was me. So when it comes to the companies and stuff, during that last 6 months, you were talking to me. And I really liked it because they gave you like a whole different kinds of view on it. And it gave you that patience that you really can't expect that everybody knows the things that you do. So that was the whole thing. I felt like, okay, this gave me a lot. And then it also gave me this thing that every time a call is more than 8 minutes, I feel like I need to close it. Because that has, as a technician, you have this like 8-minute thing. As soon as you get above it, then it starts to like get orange and red and everything. So, but other than that, I felt okay. Then I started to freelance again. I felt like, okay, I'm really gonna go into this. And at that point, another company, agency company, found me and said, you can work for us either freelance or we hire you. And I felt like, okay, just hire me. It doesn't matter. And I was at a company, and we created, because I wanted to create a system and everything. It spent 1 year creating like one WordPress site a day. So that's the WordPress is still haunting me. So I was trying to like, I don't want to do WordPress anymore. So I like removed it from everywhere that I had like connection with it. And then that company, how can I say, they like did a 180 shift and went into job coaching and everything. I felt like that would give them much more, and they actually did right, because next year they went to like $900,000 in revenue.
Mm.
So I was like, okay, that's a really good shift. And then I was like, okay, now what should I do? Back to freelancing and everything. And I had a client that had opened a company. In Sweden, you can pay like $25,000, then you can get access to, for example, Telia's grid, and then you can create your own phone company. Name it like, I don't know, awesome, awesome phone, and then you will get access to all their infrastructure and everything, but you just pay a fee. So,
Cool.
so that client of mine had that one, and at that point, I just went into like because I've done HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, but at that point, looked into Ruby on Rails. I thought,
Mhm.
I want to try that because you could do stuff really fast, and I enjoyed it. So I created like this whole system where we take their client database and add it to the system, and then it will get all, because in Sweden we have something like you can check up what kind of network provider your phone has, and it's open, it's public to use that API. So I took the client's list, put it in there, and then you can see if a client left you. So another one, and then they like, okay, we have our client database, we can see which kind of left us, then we can like give them better offers. So this whole system that automatically does this and everything stuff, and then like after 6 months, the whole thing was like, now it's in maintenance mode. So, and I felt like, okay, it's not fun for me to just sit and maintain it. I can't build anything else to it. I build it, and the thing is, the software still works. I have a close connection with that client, so he said it's still up and running and working. I was like, okay, that's cool. That was like 2011 or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Still 11, 12, something like that. So it's still like up and running. It was many years ago, and I also felt like, okay, what should I do? Because at that point, if you were, everything I have learned is on my spare time as a hobby. So the companies has really hard time waiving what do you actually know and what have you, what can you say that you do know. So at that point, I felt like, you know what, I'm just gonna get a degree and get that damn paper, so I can show them this is actually what I know. And that was 2015. So I went to this like 2-year school where just to get the degree, and
What degree? Like computer science?
yeah, it's computer science. It was the JavaScript application development, something like that.
Okay.
So just like, okay, let me run this. It was either 2 year or 5 year. I felt like they want to spend 5 years something I already know. So I felt 2 years was the minimum. And I went there, and it was actually fun. It was really fun. Helped a lot of colleagues and stuff. And after that 2 year, I felt like, okay, now I got this paper, and then I felt like I want to do consulting professionally. So I went to a company, and if funny thing is that was actually the hardest tech interview I've ever been to. I think we spent like hour or two just grilling me. So I was like, wow, is this how it is in a real consult company? So and then they didn't want to see the paper, because at that point they don't care about your education. They just want to get developers. So that's what, like the boom, like it's easy to get into development. And I was like, no, please look at this damn paper, because I spent 2 years on it, and like $17,000 on it just to get this damn paper. So look at it and ask me some questions. And then at that point, the education didn't matter. You just need to like do the tech interviews and show that you have skill. And I felt, okay, that was useless, but that education, I have that through my whole life. So I felt like, okay, good investment. And then I felt like, let's give it a year, see how a professional consulting is. Because other than that, I just have done like freelancing and stuff. And I felt like, okay, now I have a good grasp on it. Let's try some product company and see how that works. And I also gave it a year. Then I got my whole thing like, okay, compared to what I did before and how I do it now, it's actually not huge difference at it. And then I felt like okay, a friend of mine said, let's do professional consulting on a different company that works like you are like your own company, but you have this net that you are like employed. So you
Mhm.
can totally choose what you want to spend your bonuses on and everything. I felt like, okay, let's give it a shot. So I think I was like 2.5 years or something like that, and then I felt like I want to create my own company because I have a person that I had like a good idea, and he wanted me to try it out. He said we can do all the things, and it's like an entertainment application. Not entertainment. It's think of it as like food and entertainment in one.
Mhm.
That's all I can say. It's under NDA, so that's all I can say. Uh, and we did it, and now we're like beta testing it in a couple of restaurants. So we'll see how it goes.
Mhm.
Now it's just like they're taking care of everything. I'm just back to normal, just like waiting to see if the whole beta test will work or not.
Mhm.
And yeah, and then I felt like I created a company because I was since I was like 15, I felt like, oh, I want to have my own company. That's the dream. I just want to build stuff and
Yeah.
just create cool things. And I actually didn't know that there was actually a term for that, like indie hacking. Because for me, indie hacking now is your one man crew. You create stuff, you just ship it and try it out.
Mhm.
And I didn't know that it was a term. Uh, so yeah, that's what where I am. I have do like a, what can I say? Right now, I'm actually creating a project that I want to try out in stealth mode just to get real data on it. Because other than that, it's like launch a product, all your friends, oh, this is good and everything, and then you don't like really get real data if it's working or not. So I want to try it out. This is why I'm taking this whole week just coding, eating, and sleeping. And the sleeping part is like 6 hours, 5 hours, like that. Uh, but yeah, I feel like that's my story. So hasn't been like a linear path. Normally, it's like I went to education. Now I'm at a job. It's like ups and downs a lot.
Okay. Yeah, let's see. I have some notes. So, yeah, we have plenty of things to discuss. Well, let me figure out. Yeah, so one thing that I noticed that it's interesting that I don't know if it was always new or you just now like figure out it, but like you mentioned, since 15 you wanted to open a company, and it feels like you kind of always want something, but probably didn't know what exactly. Right? Like, was it like always like for you, the case? Like you always wanted to do something entrepreneurial, or it was like not like that?
Yeah, that was always have been like this because I have my brain is wired that if I see uh, a problem, I'm like, okay, how can you actually fix this? And that's the whole thing that I got with the computer. Because if there's a problem, it's always like a solution, and I
Mhm.
just need to like find that solution. So that's
Okay.
the same with the entrepreneur thing. That like I always have this ideas and stuff, and uh, I feel like it always has been like that. Oh, I see something. Oh, great idea. I want to create it,
Okay.
and
Interesting.
then yeah,
Because for me, like it was always unconscious, so I never wanted like to build a company or like, but even like in development. So I was in university, so I studied computer science in university, and it was a good course. I entered university in 2009 and finished in 2014. Uh, but like even when I went to university, I didn't want to be like engineer. It was like just random. So I did tests. My numbers were good. So I just thought, okay, I'll try this. Like think in university. And the first year when I learned programming was like this first year in university. But it was like a very like stupid program for today. First year it was Pascal, second year it was C. The same stuff that we did in Pascal, we did in C. So it's just algorithms, like nothing practical, just like sorting, like and stuff like that. And on the third year, like we learned like a lot of stuff, like C#, like C++, Win API. So it was like hardcore. But that's how I learned programming. But I never wanted to be a programmer. Then like I joined Paralect as a developer, so I didn't want to found my company, and I just like I don't know. So I didn't want anything, and it just happens. So it's interesting that you're saying that it was kind of your desire all the time. Probably
Yeah.
just too stupid.
Yeah, it always has been, and then I felt like if I don't take it now, it will like always be a desire. Nothing will happen. So that's why I feel like I'm really gonna take this seriously, because I feel like, I don't know, you have this thing that's what you should do.
Okay, interesting. So that's probably, and for me, like the price for this unconsciousness. So when I started to learn this, like what are my goals, what I actually doing, is when I entered Twitter. So Twitter plays like a big role in my life. Like so, it was like I don't know, so 2.5 year ago. So I joined Twitter. So it's cool. So I can promote Paralect here. Okay, so I built this company. There are a lot of people, so it will be easy. But I started tweeting and just realized that nobody cares, and that's how I started. Okay, how do I solve this? Like, why it doesn't work? So that's like what was for me like the question. So I started learning and really understand like things, and like setting the goals, like understanding who am I, like what is my skills, and so that's why for 2 years I wasn't growing at all on Twitter. And probably let's get back to this thing. So you have 22K followers on Twitter. So that's probably also answer is. So tell us the story about Twitter.
Yeah, I joined Twitter at 2008. I think they created 2005, 6 or something like that. So I joined Twitter 2008, and I felt like, okay, I created it, nothing more like that. And then it started like, I think it was a couple of years ago when it was really popular, where everybody followed everybody. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna really give this a shot. And I started to tweet a lot and everything. And then all of a sudden got into this, you have this trending thing like in different countries. And then I was getting suggested to people to follow. And I was like, okay. And then like I got really a lot of followers. I think it was 70, 80s a day that just keep. And I was like, what is happening? And then I started to tweet random stuff just to see what my audience are gonna interact with. And then it was just like kept going. So everybody following everybody, and it went crazy. And then fast forward a couple of years now, when it started to like decrease, Twitter isn't popular anymore. And I was like, okay, this is not fun. What do I do? And I tried like a lot of stuffs, but I don't know. They feel like I have no idea. So that was like, I was like, okay, fun that you follow me, but why are you following me? Because I don't know, tweeted random stuff and did a lot of different tweets and everything. So yeah, I don't know. That's the whole story about it. It was popular at, I think I clicked on something. It was popular like a couple of years. That was my huge, how can I say it? That was my huge uprising. And now it doesn't matter what I tweet, nothing happens. I feel like people join Twitter and then they follow everybody and then just, I don't know, quit or something.
Anyway, so I mean, it can be like for you that like you did nothing, but probably that's the sign that like you basically early adopter or something. So you got your rewards. So it's kind of interesting. So because I again, like if you take my story, like around this time, like probably 2010 or 2011, there was one guy like he was really big in like software company, like manager, like big manager. And I was on the conference, it was JavaScript conference, and he said like back then, like in 2011, like the only thing that you need as a developer is to be present in social networks. The best social network is Twitter. and I thought, stupid. It sounds stupid, and I did nothing. And I did nothing for like 8 years, and only in 8 years I started doing it. So it's interesting. And basically, you were there when it started, so you saw how people use it. So you learned a lot. Like I think back then.
Yeah, that's true, because there's always like a trend. Say, for example, that Facebook, I think it's called Thread or something, thread.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. I mean, everybody will start following everybody because it's new and everything. Then would get
Right.
trended, and then at the like peak, then you'll just get a lot of followers, and then eventually, if it keeps trending, but eventually everything has a peak and it will slowly go down to where it's normal. It's like this rubber band effect. You always need to go top and then bottom, and then it will stabilize somewhere in the middle.
Okay, got it. So, how do you use Twitter today? Like, do you post like some, I think, regularly, or like do you use it for marketing or just for making friends?
No, I'm just making friends, following interesting, cool people, because I feel like I don't know. For me, Twitter is not, how can I say, Twitter's not work.
Okay.
Because as soon as it becomes like, I need to do this, at that part, then I feel like, okay, now it's not enjoyable anymore. So I just tweet and do random stuff. Feel like I had my peak, and I feel like, yeah, someday I might use it to promote something, marketing, things like that. But right now it's just personal stuff.
Got it. The thing is that we like kind of hacking this, but I started. So for me, Twitter is work, but for me, Twitter is fun. Because for me, work is fun. So because like yeah, it's more like difficult concept and it takes more time to develop, but it really works now because I definitely do not see Twitter as work. I see it's a place to hang out, like to make memes and stuff, but that's where I share the progress, and that's how it translates to work. And we're basically trying to what we're doing, like in Parallax, we ask everyone like not to use Slack, but use Twitter as they use Slack. Basically, if they have a question to like a designer, or they just like share the screenshot and say like this design is wrong, and you immediately like created content for, and someone can look and they can see like how the process looks like in our team, for example, like, hey, design is ready, can you develop now? Hey, like you developed something wrong. So they can just communicate, and it can educate people. So it's like trying to move it. But yeah, everyone everyone thinks that like as it's social media, they need to be like smart, or they need like to be bloggers. So we try and no, it's just Slack. Just use Twitter instead of Slack.
Yeah, because the thing is, I feel like that's like an interesting concept, because it gives you a total different kind of transparency. You see, like, okay, this is the progress, this is the struggle, this is the thing that they go through, and everything that gives you a total complete transparency, instead of like, okay, I see this product, I'm pretty sure it just had a linear uprising and everything is a magical story.
Oh
But
yeah.
normally, if you get a transparency look at it, that's not how it normally goes, because it always goes this and then go back, and then all of a sudden it get traction, and then it blows up.
Yeah, the thing that nobody will understand like this, like even things until you explain. But everyone will see that something is happening, so it worth like following. Or imagine like in this situation, like a particular situation with designs. Like if you imagine like a designer ask like a developer, hey, can you develop this? And in conversation, it's like it will be just yes or no. But if like he or she asking in Twitter, basically someone can see it and say, wow, what a beautiful design. They can retweet it, it can go viral. So some random stuff that they couldn't expect like become viral. And it's happening like with my stuff, so I know that it's working. So that's what I promote. That's what I suggest you to do, like to go out of shadows and to start like sharing every day, because and you have like a big audience, so probably someone someone will help. But yeah, it takes time to develop. But don't be scared.
Yeah, no, I always have like a lot of ideas, have created them, and then like private, and then I felt like I need, how can I say, I need to create this, and then this whole thing is I get into it needs to be perfect.
No, yeah.
That's the whole thing I have. It needs to be perfect, needs to work, needs to be everything like that. And I felt okay, and that's what like challenged myself with this whole week, that I'm gonna build it at the end of like Sunday. On Monday it's ready for launch, and then that's like deadline.
That's what I was going to say, because that's the only way to fight perfectionism, is just to set the deadline.
Yeah,
Better
then
today, like better to release something today. I always say this, but 1 week is perfect. How to?
yeah, because I feel like I need to do it. So I have actually taken off. I've taken like this whole week just to focus on this one, and that's why like okay, eat, sleep, and then do this, and that's it. So on Monday I will, yeah, release and see how it goes. I actually created a fun little side project that I felt like, because if you think of it, Twitter is like, oh, you get a link and you click on it, but you always like, is it safe to click on it? And that's when I got this idea, because I know my girlfriend was like, do I dare click on this link? I get like SMS and then a link. I was like, 99.9, don't click on it, because it probably is a scam.
Yeah.
But sometimes you get like this, you order something, then you need to like pay the tax and everything on it, so you get like a link. I felt like that's unsecure. So I actually created a little side project called safeurl.dev.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually it's still work in progress, but I felt like release it and see how it goes. What you actually do is take your link, post it in that input, click on it, give it a couple seconds, it will take a screenshot and show you what website it is.
Oh, okay.
So this is like, because I get really mad at people like click on links and then they get like viruses and everything. I felt like just because you're curious to see what the link is, just get a picture of it, like a screenshot, and then you will see if it's legit or not. And then I got like, okay, I need to add more info to it, and what people like commented, and if it's safe or not, and if so. I just created it, put it out, and then how can I say, and see if people use it. But that's just to prevent people from getting viruses and ransomware and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
And,
like,
how do you make screenshot? Is it some API?
I use the Puppeteer.
Okay, I got it. So what I want to say, so your core value of this product is actual making screenshots.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right now it's just taking a screenshot of it and then.
I mean, like you sent, so it's like for checking URLs. But I mean, even this one feature, like convert URL to screenshots, it can be monetized, and like people do this, and you can like do a lot of like fun stuff around it. Like you can probably generate a video of scrolling website, and it's also like have a lot of use cases. So think more about it, because I think it's just of one of the use cases that probably will work, like this problem with URLs. But what you can sell is like this making screenshots.
Yeah, because I'll also have this thing where like this is just me brainstorming. Have like a Chrome plugin, so before you click on a link, you can just right click it and then send it to plugin. And when it comes to like enterprise thing, you can, as soon as you get an email with links, it will automatically attach those screenshots to the links, so you'll see, okay, this is the one. So for enterprise, I totally see the value, and then for the users also, because you always curious, and the internet is built out of links, so you're always curious of what is behind that link. And I know that project has actually saved my girlfriend a lot of times, and a lot of friends also. And I know that people have this, I'm not going to click on that link because I don't feel like it's safe. And same with URL shorteners. You never know what's behind that link. So that's why I felt like I created this, send it out, see what happens. but it's for a good thing.
Nice. Yeah. So what would I recommend you to do to share all these case studies in Twitter?
Yeah, I will actually start doing that because I feel like I need to give it a shot and see.
Yeah, sure. And again, like probably, like I said, that your value screenshot somebody else will like tell you. So you'll just discover. So it doesn't have to be like this use case, but probably it's something else. Nice. Okay. Let's see what I have here. So let's back to the consciousness and like your goals. Like you said that you wanted to open a company, so now you're launching like this product. But do you have like some like tangible or like measurable goal that you want to achieve?
I think that's like every indie hacker's goal, to have something that covers their expenses so they can just work on cool things. That's it.
Yeah, that's cool. So do you mean it's like a ramen profitability?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, because then you're like, okay, I can remove that part from your life, and then you can just get idea, focus, put like a deadline. Okay, I get 1 month to fix it,
Mhm.
create that. Because I have this, I really like getting. If you look at uh, Dan's product, where he did the whole.
Amara art?
No, not the one with the where it gets the info from Product Hunt and then shows it.
Oh, hunted space.
Yeah. Hunter Space.
Mhm.
It's gonna launch 2 days. And the whole thing is that I got this as soon as I saw it. I felt like, oh, I got this idea, and this is just how my brain works. But imagine if you're gonna have like a launch, then you can offer them like you connect your webcam to it, and it will automatically take one picture an hour, for example, and then you can also embed that in an iframe, so you can share it and stuff to different web sites.
Yeah.
Uh, so you can have like this live feed,
Right.
your position and everything, how further you are from the second place or third place and stuff, or how much you need to go up to the first place.
Yeah, makes sense.
So I just got that's like how my brain works. As soon as I see something, like, okay, there's gonna be a solution to it. So that's why I feel like I need to create this product and create one product a month. Just that's how my brain works.
Okay, it's cool. But yeah, if you want like to reach ramp profitability, what I would say, like just try to launch more things. Like instead of like focusing one tool, like launch 10, because out of 10, one tool will be considerably good.
Yeah,
So that's how it works.
yeah, I know that that guy level
Yeah,
Isu.
yeah, Peter level. Right,
He's I think it was 70.
right.
Yeah, that was actually an inspiration. Like, okay, you cannot, because I had this like I need to create one that is really good and then launch. But as soon as he shared that, okay, 70 out of 70, this is how many that worked. I was like, okay, that's actually a really good statistic to follow.
Yeah, it's a good statistic actually, and that's what I hear from everyone. Like I'm speaking, like who like built something successful. They all like did a lot of shots, and it's not that scary. So that's what I'm trying also like to spread around. Like it doesn't mean that levels like Peter levels is like much more efficient. He just smarter. So you can build 7 products in the next week, and you will like in a week you will have 7 products more. And I didn't click like his links, but I think like majority of them will be just landing page that didn't work, and he just abandoned it. Basically, something that he spent like one day for. And the thing is that I also see that when something is working, it also like takes, I don't know, one day to build an MVP. So it doesn't take like huge a lot of time to make something successful. It just like write things, write ideas, write problems. So basically, and when we like starting successful projects like in Parallel, it's always like for some reason it just starts in at some point, so you never like know like whether it works or not. So that's why I'm just like telling just launch more, because and think that most of it, the idea will fail, and that's the easiest way.
Yeah, it's always like this. A simple, how do you say this? The simplest idea is the one that always like works.
Oh yeah.
That's just the crazy one little simple thought that nobody thought of, and then it works. Well, okay, it
Yeah, it's
doesn't
not about like nobody's thought a thing. So it's also I think important, but yeah, but simplicity, and it's also like common topic now. I'm discovered it like when I'm like speaking like with people. So I talked yesterday with Alexander, who sold his startup for 800K. It's he's an indie hacker, but he sold like a big
Yeah,
deal.
I'm following him. That's nice.
Oh yeah, yeah. So and like he was like talking a lot about simplicity, and it's one of my core topics, and it's actually like really fundamental, like really, uh, like even when I open it, like your product safe URL, like for the most like developers, like professionals, they say like it's not professional, like design is not good. What I see here, I see like I put link and I see results. It's awesome. Like I don't need to think about it, and really like it's like it's the reason why Google or YouTube, like Google is one input is like the same way.
Mm.
It's not like you open it and trying to understand what's going on. You just have one action, and it's super hard to find this action because most of the actions are like failure. So if you add this one action, won't work. So that's why you need to create more
Yeah,
simple
exactly.
products.
Yeah, that makes sense because I have this like I have so many private GitHub repos. I know I have this idea with my big brother, create like a project, the whole thing that it was 2010, 11 something, where they just started like streaming. In Sweden, we got some streaming like next thing they're called Woodler, and we got this idea. Oh, you should maybe create a one that is better. And then we got this whole idea that why not take those movies that are in the cinema. So you pay like a fixed price per month as you do, but then you pay a little bit extra just to see that movie in the cinema right now at in your couch. And
Okay.
that's the idea we got 2011. And then you see like Disney Plus and everything add that now. It's like, yeah, we should maybe have went with that idea, but it's always you can always be smart to look in the past. But I was like, yeah, that would actually have been a good idea.
Just launch it and test it.
Yeah, I will.
I'm
Yeah,
doing it tomorrow, so that's also the best trick. If it doesn't work, just don't care about it.
yeah, that's the whole thing that I always like create and then abandon it really fast just to test it out, and that's what I'm more focusing on to do.
Yeah, yeah, cool, cool. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so we also have a couple of questions. I share it just when we started. Simple questions. So the first one from Alex. I mean, Alex from Twitter. Do you know her?
Alizu?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
right. So Alex is asking, how is you doing? How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Getting sleep, getting eaten, and coding. So I feel like I enjoy it so much.
Yeah, I remember this line. Okay, code and sleep and eating and repeating.
Exactly.
Okay, and the other questions are from Lara. So Lara always supporting my podcast. You know Lara from Momentum from Product, right?
Yes, the designer with
Yeah,
the
and
deer.
not a designer, not a designer.
No. Yeah, the deer thing and
Yeah,
that
right. Yeah,
picture.
so she asks, I want to know more about this cute doggy that is on his banner.
Yeah, that is my girlfriend. Uh, Dogs. I just pay for them. So now the thing is that the one that I have on the bio, he's called Neo, and you just love him, and he just wants attention. So whenever there's like we get visitors and stuff, always he's the one that goes to that person and sit in that person's lap. And so we have, yeah, if you follow me, there are like a lot of animals. We have horse, two
Oh,
dogs, two
I just,
cats. One of the cats are a sphinx. and then we have like 4 aquariums with like 1 fish in each, betta fish, like those fighting fishes. And yeah, we love animals.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it's really cool that you told about it, because I remember it's your like in your bio, right? So now it makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So the next question from Lara again. Watermelon or melon? I heard it says a lot about the person.
What was the question?
Watermelon or melon?
Watermelon.
Okay, I don't know what it means, but let's let her decide.
Yeah.
Okay, and the last question is basically something similar to what I asked, but the best thing that happened to Cyrus in the last 24 hours. Let's see, coding, sleeping, eating.
Yeah, that was actually solved image bug that I had. That's the thing when it comes to like coding. I had 2 friends that they work now as developers, but before that, one of them worked as a driver instructor, and the other one worked as a master painter. And they both came to me and said that I don't want to work with this the rest of my life. I don't think my body will hold together. So what should I do? And I was like, learn to code. This is like best. This is the best time to learn to code because there's so many tutorials. It's so easy to go into it. You just need to spend like 1 hour a day consistently in like 3 months. Then you'll be able to understand how to do it. And I told him that code because the joy you think if you're like problem solver, the smallest problems you will solve, you will feel like, oh, this is so fun. And I have been coding many years, and I still get the whole that victory dance developer when you solve something like, yeah, I did it. You get a boost. I solved it. And I remember actually one bug that I spent a lot of. I spent 2 weeks on that bug, and this was on a social media application that I created. I spent a stupid thing. I asked myself, how hard can it be to create a Facebook clone? Apparently, 2 years later, with all the live feature and everything, admin feature and all that kind of thing, because Facebook had, you could add 2 person. I had, so you can add 8 with the admin kicking and entering and all that thing. So I spent actually 2 weeks on the video bug on the iOS application with Xcode. And everybody that works with React Native know that Xcode was a pain in the ass, and that was the thing that as soon as I solved it, I know it was real joy. So that's why I always say learn how to code, because for the first you know how you think logically. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is you get a superpower. That's it.
Cool. Okay, so we don't have any question left. I think we can wrap up. But I want to like ask about. You mentioned this. Like, if you want to learn coding, just spend. How did you say? Like 1 hour a day, 30 days, or every day, 30 days.
Yeah, because a lot of people ask me, "Oh, I want to code, and do you need to be math genius and everything?" No, you don't. What you need to do is, this is me. I know both backend as Node.js, and then I do front end. But since I'm a visual guy and I love to design things, I'm more leaning on the front end part. I always say that take 1 hour a day in how can I say in 3 months, and then tell me if you don't want to code. Because what you should do before you do that 1 hour a day, write up an idea you have that you want to create. And then as soon as you have that idea, that is your goal. So you know that after 3 months, this is what I need to create. What do I need to learn to be able to get to that part? Because that's how I have done it. I didn't know mobile development until 2015. I always wanted to create mobile apps. I didn't know how. So I felt like, okay, I'm going to learn how to do mobile development. And when I was 15, I wanted to create beautiful websites. I didn't know how. Then I started to learn design. And then after that, I'm bad at marketing. I started to learn marketing. So that's the whole thing. Have a goal in 3 months, put 1 hour each day, and then after 3 months, see if you can create that idea and how fast you can do it.
That's awesome. I will definitely cut it as a clip because it's just basically what I'm teaching. You don't need to overcomplicate, to think about things. Just 1 hour, 3 months, and let's speak about in the 90 days. Let's see what you did. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, this is like how you hack your brain, and this is what I always say, because if you do something, your brain works like you need to learn something that is for your survival. If your brain thinks this is nothing you need to learn for you to survive, then it won't prioritize it.
Right.
What you do is, if you put 1 hour each day, your brain will go, why does he keep doing this every day? Apparently, it must be something that is important to him. So let's just learn it so we don't get this every day. And that's how it's the brain. It goes with like anything.
I love it. I have like different ways to tell this, but I never like, so I will use your pitch now because I never thought about it, but it's actually true. So it's tricking like brain and psychology. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Tricks like, okay, I actually need to learn this to be able to do it. And also a thing is, take this for anything. If you're going to learn how to play the guitar, if you're going to code, always make it so that it takes like less than 10 seconds for you to start.
Wow.
So if you have like, you want to play guitar, have it in your living room or where you always can like pick it up. If you want to code, use something that you don't need to set up. Use like, I don't know, Code Sandbox or anything, just 2 clicks away, and then you have it and you can try it. That's the thing. You should be as fast as possible. If it's a hurdle, oh, I need to set up this, I need to do this, you won't do it.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Yeah, this is super interesting because our video guy, like video operator, he visited like my place to help me to build a video studio, and he said, here is like the best angle, but you need to put this table there, and say, no, like just make me something so I can sit and then start recording the same day, because I know that I won't do this. I want like, it will be a big event, 1 per year. I don't need this. I need to record every day. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing, because as soon as it starts, your brain is expert to throw out excuses. It's an expert on it. If you just have like, okay, in less than a 10 second, I can focus 1 hour on it, let's do it.
Nice.
And then you're a little bit closer. And then after 3 months, then you can create the idea you have. And as soon as you get to that part where like, shit, I just created an idea I had, that's when you know you had the superpower. And then you get this aha moment where I can create anything I want.
Right.
And
yeah, it's powerful.
That's the best part. I've seen this 2 times on my friends when we're like they go to like a specific threshold, a specific milestone where they like tip over to, shit, I can create anything. And that's the beautiful part of it.
Yeah, too bad we started too late discussing, but what you're describing is basically philosophy of nano. So it's more like things there, but the core principle is just do it every day for at whatever time you have, but do it every day. Probably it's 5 minutes, probably 10 minutes, probably it's 8 hours, but every day. So
yeah, consistency it always actually work. I know I've been coding since every day. I have this like before I go to sleep. Coding is my Zen thing. So I like code an hour at least a day, but it's more hour than that a day. But I always spend an hour a day at least on it. And then I have been doing that for I don't know how many years, and just keep doing that because that's my passion.
Cool. Okay, I think we can wrap up on this moment. So I think it was cool.
Do it in public. You have nothing to hide. Start using the internet. Join the